put some music on. What do you think this is, the funeral?
Yo, what's the damn deal? Jalo Will back in the building again for another episode of the last episode. Hey man, we've been on a roller coaster ride, okay? It's been crazy. This Wandavision show has been amazing. I was wrong. I didn't know that there was an extra episode. I'm very happy about that. I don't know everything, guys. We know that. I've said this many times. I'm not here to be the be-all, know-all. I do hope that I can teach some things every now and then, but we're here to have fun. You know what I'm saying? What I say? What do I say? I don't pod, I don't tweet for those who are comic book lifers. You know what I'm saying? If you know everything about this that's going on, then this is, you know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily who I'm talking to. Like, if you can still gain, some entertainment value from listening to the pod, then by all means, please listen, enjoy. We welcome you. I welcome you. But I don't need anybody to tell me what's going to happen. I was a little nervous, actually, because, I said in the last episode, I did a little bit of looking into who Agatha Harkness was, and I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to find out anything ahead of time that I wasn't supposed to know, before they can actually show me. I like just being shocked and watching the events unfold on the Wandavision show, MCU universe, etc. And I had saw something about her being around during the Salem witch thing, and that's not something that I thought was going to be brought up. I even mentioned how she was tried as a witch back then in the Salem witch trials, and then in the very beginning of the episode, they take you back to Salem, and I'm like, oh shit, did I maybe ruin something for somebody? You know what I'm saying? Because they're about to show her on trial. But it wasn't that, right? And MCU was smart for that. Because at the very beginning of the Agatha Harkness information, when you start looking her up, it tells you about how she was on trial back then. And so I would think that they might know that stuff. And so they take you back then, but they show you something completely different, right? I thought that was good. That was genius. Made me feel a little better, knowing that I didn't actually fuck up anything for anybody, spoiler-wise, okay? Phew. I'd have been on this motherfucker apologizing profusely to you guys if I did that, because that's not my goal here. Now, about the episode in particular, right? We know that there always has to be like the reveal episode. Especially when you have a convoluted kind of show where things can be a little confusing and they still haven't exactly explained how this led to this, how, whatever is going on in the show actually transpired. I'm good with that. It's all about execution when it comes to those episodes, because usually it doesn't necessarily push the story along. It takes you back so you have a full understanding. And for some people, and during some shows, that can just not be necessary, not wanted. Or if the execution is just done wrong, then it's just a waste. And it feels like you could have skipped it and just kept going on with the story, because the story is good enough to keep it afloat. This episode was not anything to be upset about in that regard overall, though I do have something that bothers me about the episode very much. Overall, I liked it. I enjoyed all of the content, but there's something that really bothers me about the episode, and I'll get to that later. And so let's go ahead and jump on in, okay? Now, this episode really highlights the pain that Scarlet Witch Wanda has been through, something that I've mentioned before, right? And it really highlights why I said Monica can't actually relate. You may understand a piece of the emotion that Wanda is feeling, but the depth is way different. Is way different from based on what we know in terms of what Monica's gone through versus what Wanda has gone through. It's just not the same. So don't say that you can relate and that you understand because you don't. Now, going into the beginning, right, the Salem days, the anti-aging tech that they have for these movies is great, right? The way that they made Agatha look exactly like Agatha, but just a super young, cute, might I add, version of herself was great, right? You didn't have to get another actress that doesn't actually look like her to play the role, right? It was like clearly her. Now, one thing that I'm wondering when it comes to that opening scene, which was very interesting, this is a chicken or egg argument to me. What came first when it comes to Salem Agatha? Was she truly unredeemable by that point? We don't know what she had been doing behind the scenes, behind her coven's back up to that point that made them put her at the stake like that, tie her up at the stake. But was she truly unredeemable, right? We know from watching different shows, movies, we have a long history with these sorts of things where a younger person, whether it's magical or not magical, just some regular world stuff, right? There's a crossroads in your life to where you may have been messing up and doing some messed up things, but if you can get the right person in there to show you how to do right, you can save that person from becoming the worst version of themselves. And, I wonder if them teaming up on Agatha like that, and especially with her mother's betrayal, of course, she would consider a betrayal. Her mother sees it as doing what she has to do, no matter how much she loves her daughter, to protect the greater good, right? But if you're Agatha, it's betrayal. So did that push Agatha over the edge to a point of no return? It's something that also doesn't necessarily have to do with the story, but I'm just interested to know. You expect her to defend herself, right? I love all the special effects during that scene. The magic looked great. I loved it all. I liked the little outfit she was rocking as young Agnes back in the 1600s. And at the end, when we got to see her witch costume, that was dope. The powers and how it was flowing off of her and the gown and all that looked really dope. Makeup, amazing. Looked great. I have nothing to complain about on that front. And Agatha is hands down the best character performance-wise in the show. And that is high praise because the way that Vision has played this role, and Wanda herself too, going through these different stages, different emotions, different eras, has been fantastic. Same for Vision, and just showing this different side of Vision with feelings and emotions and morals and all that stuff. They've both been spectacular as well, but Agatha she steals the show in like every scene she's in. What was the line that she had about you're using the magic to make breakfast for dinner? That was great. It was now me personally, I love breakfast for dinner, occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally, right? Come on. Breakfast for dinner slaps. Well, I'm not really sure why she had to attack it like that, but it was a great line nonetheless. The whole chaos magic thing, spontaneous creation, words, just word salad for magical shows and shit like that. But it makes sense and I dig it. And it sounds, important. You know what I'm saying? So that's another aspect. What type of words and jargon do you use for your shows? And does it make sense or does it just sound stupid? It didn't sound stupid to me. I like it. The whole feel of the whole thing, when they were in the basement, when they got back to that portion and she's kind of telling her more Agatha's telling Wanda more about, who she is. But, I mean, kind of, not really. She didn't really tell her too much. She basically just let her know, hey, I've been here. You don't have control over me. I actually have control over you right now. And it felt like she was going to go the route of teaching her, which I thought was interesting, right? Because she's telling her about the runes. She's showing her a few different magic spells, different things that she can do. And she's like, it took me this long to do this and that. It felt like she might, go back to basics almost and teach the fundamentals of some of the things that Wanda has missed in her growth as, into the powerful person that she's become to this day. But then we took a hard turn on that, the tossing her around back and forth, smacking her against the pillars in the basement was just hilarious. I appreciated that because of how Wanda is acting. And like I said, I'm going to get to that. Let's go through the show. Excuse me. I'll be doing that because I'm drinking my coffee. Let me take a sip. You know what I'm saying? Hold on while I do that. You can listen to this real quick. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoy it every time I hear it, so hopefully you can too. Now, the first thing that they do when they go into the past is they go to Sokovia when Wanda was a child, right? Then we see the shows that we've been seeing, Wanda's variations of Dick Van Dyke, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, I Love Lucy, Malcolm in the Middle, Who's the Boss? Now, Malcolm in the Middle, I mentioned before, I didn't really watch like that. May have seen an episode or two. Wasn't really my thing. Never watched Who's the Boss either. I know Alyssa Milano was big in that. I used to watch her on that show Charmed back in the day when I was a kid. I used to watch Charmed all the time with the three witches. So, just going back a ways as a kid, I've always been enamored with magic and power. So, this is just par for the course for me when it comes to all the stuff that's coming out these days. I forgot how gorgeous Mary Tyler Moore was, when they showed the little, when they were watching the Dick Van Dyke show, and she rolled up and down those balls or whatever, and she had that big smile, very gorgeous smile. Rest in peace, Mary Tyler Moore. Died in 2017, for anyone who might not have known. Now, what was interesting is what happened with the bombs, right? So Agatha's saying that she basically protected them. So you're saying that Wanda has always had powers. So that means that Pietro has always had powers as well, right? Because that will make sense why he obviously was also able to touch the Infinity Stone. That's interesting. So it just makes me wonder about things like their heritage, who grandparents and great-great-grandparents and all that. And it didn't seem like their parents had powers. I wonder why. I guess sometimes it skips a generation. That does happen in shows and movies from time to time. I'll be pretty tight when in heaven or hell, wherever her parents are. I don't know what type of people they were. They seemed good, but they could have been assholes. Like when they're looking down or looking up at their kids and they see them with these powers, be like, what the hell? Why the fuck do we get? You know what I'm saying? I'd be a little just happy that they survived, right? But a little salty. What? Let me get some of that. That's not right. And how did the TV survive the bomb? Did Wanda protect that too? I mean, I know she loves TV. I love TV. And I appreciate that. Even when she got older, we see it later, she's still watching TV when she's isolated. And she's upset, right? She could be doing anything, listening to music, reading, but she was watching TV. She loves TV. And that's the running theme here. A running theme, not the running theme, obviously. Now, skipping ahead to the Hydra portion, right? The look on Agatha's face when Wanda said she wanted to change the world by joining an anti-freedom terrorist organization was just perfect. She had this okay weirdo face Yeah, and I just appreciate it, right? Because it's like, yes, your response to what happened is to go join this terrorist organization, and then your reason for that is like you wanted to change the world. There's many other ways that you can contribute to the change of the world that doesn't involve joining a terrorist organization like Hydra. Okay, I need you to be better. I just need you to be better. Okay, yes, you've been through trauma, but that's just not going to cut it. What was also interesting about that scene is that we've never seen an Infinity Stone just kind of react to someone like that. And we've seen at this point a lot of the different Infinity Stones do a lot of different things. But I don't recall seeing one just kind of gravitate towards somebody, bestow these extra powers on them, unlocking the hidden potential of Wanda, like Dragon Ball Z style, Elder Kai. She came through and was like, "Blow, you good now. Now you the Scarlet Witch." And that's who I thought that was in the person in the stone that we can only see just for a brief second, right? And you can't see clearly. To me, I think that was Wanda and the Scarlet Witch costume, gear, and stuff. And it was like, that version of her going into the regular one. I don't know. You know how it goes. You know what I'm trying to say. She basically got her
spirits lifted.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? So she came through and she got more powers. And that was dope. I mean, it's good for us to see some of those things. It's always interesting to go back when it's necessary. Now, let's go to the Civil War setting when she's speaking with Vision in the room. It's actually on the scene that's on the screen right now, that I'll be watching it while I'm doing the podcast on mute, just in case I see something. That's the scene that's on right now. But it was cool to see Wanda teaching Vision about TV a little bit. One of those things doesn't move the story along, just cool to see. What's clear is that by Civil War, she was already feeling lonely and in immense pain and feeling immense loss. And so she was already getting to this breaking point. So Vision being there in that moment was so important for their love, the platform that the love was built on, right? It's a genuine sharing of experiences with depth and bonding over it. He was an outlet and a crutch of like the highest order to, keep her sane, keep her level. And to lose him and see him in pieces, too, was like, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot after everything she's already been through. She's already, the Lagos, parents, Pietro, like it's a lot. She was experimented on, like all of that. So fast forward, and we're going to do the Sword visit. First of all, when she went to visit Sword, right, to see Vision, I can't imagine just lying to an Avenger that I know can probably like push my eyeballs through my head and through my body and out my ass with little effort if they wanted to. I'm not lying, talking about, oh, Vision's not here. Yes, Vision's here. Yep. I'll do what I can. I can only do so. I'm just going to be honest. You right? Don't lie. You might make her mad and she might do something crazy. And I'm not about to die today. Okay, not for this damn job at the security desk because I wanted to lie to a fucking Avenger. No, we're not doing that. Okay. So I digress. Isn't it crazy how fucking possessive governments can be when it comes to some of this stuff, right? So Hayward is going to tell Wanda that Vision is not hers and he can't let her bury, the billions of dollars of vibranium or whatever. And Vision is not his either. He's not the government's. Vibranium didn't come from America. The Mind Stone didn't come from America. Tony, nor Banner, nor Thor worked for the government, those who helped create Vision. Like the audacity of the government, right? For you to sit up here and tell me that I can't do what I want with my loved one because you're going to take them and I have no say in the matter because you're the government. It's if Tony were still alive, this wouldn't be an issue. Unfortunately, Bruce doesn't have that kind of pull, and with the Mind Stone not a part of Vision anymore, I don't think Thor would have the interest in going up against the government on another planet. Right? He tries to not really insert himself to that level in the day-to-day, I guess you could call it, of government agencies or just life on other planets. Not really his deal, not his job. Yeah. So it's just all unfortunate that it had to come to this. But, when she goes and she visits Westview for the first time and she goes in that empty house lot and she starts spazzing out like that, could you imagine being somebody in that neighborhood and just kind of looking over and seeing that shit right before it expands to the rest of the city and, just engulfs everybody in black and white in the 50s and 60s? Like, it was just the house that she was working on at first. Like, to just look over and see that shit would be wild. I don't have, do you pull out your phone? Do you run? Right? Like, these days, too, especially, you might have people doing both, pulling out their phone and running. Because I don't know that I want to be anywhere near what the hell is going on over there. Just absurd. When she was doing the house and creating everything, the city, the town, and we saw her create Vision, like, immediately. I was like, oh shit. It was a big oh shit moment for me because I immediately realized that if she created her own vision, then that means that Hayward still had his vision. And it was like, fuck. So this is going to come back somehow, right? And now it also makes sense now why he couldn't leave the damn hex, because he was made in the hex. You can't leave the hex if you're created here, buddy. That's messed up. It also explains why he doesn't remember anything before the hex. So now they've answered quite a few questions along the way here. I appreciate as we get to the wrap up in the last episode next week that I can't wait for. I'm going to have to find a way to get off work. I do got a doctor's appointment on Friday, so I might be able to go ahead and finesse the day off so I could watch the episode early in the day and not wait until 5 o'clock p.m. I'm tired of that shit. Goddamn. Now, I mean, so we went through a lot of the episode. We talked about some of the different moments in the episode that I enjoyed, right? I enjoyed the whole thing overall. And the Scarlet Witch, the Agatha using the name Scarlet Witch at the end, I'm glad for. Somebody asked me about that recently. I can't remember who, but a friend was just like, have they called her the Scarlet Witch in this? I was like, no. And it made me think, like, yeah, we've seen her at this point quite a bit. Nobody had ever referred to her as the Scarlet Witch. And then we finally got that, and that was dope and interesting. And I didn't know that the Scarlet Witch wasn't just a regular name bestowed upon her because she's dope and wears red, right? It has witch-like powers. It's like a myth. There's history to it. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder if maybe Agatha will tell her more about this Scarlet Witch myth. I mean, it doesn't look like she's in the mood to really talk and teach right now, as she's got her kids by the throat, which is just wrong. But she's an evil witch. What do you expect, right? Let me talk about why I'm upset now. Okay. And after I tell you why I'm upset with the episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the commercials that we had seen from the first 5-6 episodes or whatever, right? Hold on, I got sneeze. Excuse me. Now, some motherfuckers might edit that out. I think that I did a pretty good job of aiming away from the mic so it's not all loud in your ear. It's a Pop Your Trunk production, right? People sneeze. I'm a human. I'm regular. I'm extraordinary, but I'm regular, if you know what I mean. But anyway, Why I'm upset. Now, I enjoyed all the walks through the memories, but having to be led by Agatha to show us how it happened because she forgot, I don't like that. I'm not happy about that at all. Even if she didn't understand how she did it, that'd be fine, right? But because you forgot? So you mean to tell me that, like, you had me believing for real that it wasn't all her who created this and did all this, because she legit was like, it wasn't me, I don't remember, I just woke up here or whatever. And it comes to find out you did do it all and you just forgot. Like, if you were lying about it, doing it, because there's a point where it does feel like she was all caught up, but then she kind of woke up, right? And then she started realizing about the structure that she's in, and then we see she's controlling it. She's kicking people out and defending it, and, you know, just completely controlling it with an active mind, right? And so at that point, when people start asking you about it, and you're like, well, I don't know, you know, I would hope that you would just be lying, misleading them, not wanting them to know the truth of how it all happened, that you did this out of grief or whatever, and that it was all you. That's something that I can get behind. But just because, like, you snapped and the emotional outbursts of magic was so powerful that it made you forget doing it, I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that. Like I said, I would have much preferred, like, you realized it, but you wanted to maintain it, and you lied to people about it. So something like that. Something like that. I don't like the whole you forgot thing. Like, that seems lazy to me. You forgot. What the hell? Look at this. Look at this shit. Fuck you mean you forgot? Yeah, absurd. Anyway, now, the commercials that we have been talking about, I've mentioned numerous times what the hell the commercials are about. You may have figured it out by now. I took a little time before I started the podcast to just go back through, you know, YouTube. There's always everything on YouTube. You type in Wandavision commercials, somebody just strung them all together so you can watch them back to back to back. So I did that and was able to pick up the theme, right? So, I mean, it ties to her trauma and her story of this whole thing, of how this came to be. You have the Stark toaster in the beginning that ties to when, you know, the Stark bomb was hit her and her family in Sokovia. You even have the beeping of the toaster that sounded like the beeping of the bomb back then. You have the Strucker watch in the second commercial that was made by Hydra and their experiments on her at a fragile time in her life. You know what I'm saying? There we go with the Hydra jaw. And the Hydra soak with Lagos and the mess made that accidentally in Civil War, right? The Hydra soak with cleaning up the messes and all that. It said something in the commercial about, you know, for cleaning up a mess you didn't mean to make. Lagos something, you know, like that's clearly about the Civil War thing now that I really think about it. Yo Magic Yogurt, consider a conversation with Vision and the episode that we just watched, when it feels like her magic is the cause for her isolation and it's killing her, right? So many bad things have come because of her magic. It's like yo magic, like your magic is the problem. And then the Nexus pill, right, which is the remedy, the decision for her to create her own world and kind of, you know, hide out there. It even has that line at the end of the commercial, because the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it, right? Like, so the whole thing, the commercials are all a play on the things that she's gone through and the trauma in her life that led her to this moment of creating the hex, which is pretty damn clever and fascinating. And if you notice, it was like the same actor and actress in like every single commercial. Very good, very good. I don't know what that portion of the commercial is about. If it's supposed to be a representation of her parents or something else, I have no idea. But I think it's very interesting. Very well done. Now, we've talked about This episode 8, it's been crazy. I can't wait for episode 9, but I have some questions, right? I always have a few questions. I still don't understand why the broadcast, right? I just don't get that portion of it. I understand you like TV and you love TV, but you could have lived in your TV world without broadcasting it to the outside. I don't understand that part of it. Why give people a look inside as to what's going on? Is that supposed to be some way that, like, you think subconsciously if people could check in and see that nothing is actually wrong with these people, that they're living these lives or whatever, and they may look different and weird, but they're fine, that they won't intrude, that people won't intrude? Is that... I have no idea what that is. It's confusing to me. Also, if you're Hayward, why would lie about Wanda taking Vision, right? Why tell your team that this happened and show this video of this bullshit happening that didn't actually happen? Nobody else knew you still had him, right? Like, everybody thought he was in there. You didn't really have to lie about that, right? So you lying just to lie. That's another different type of asshole. You're lying just because of it, just for the fuck of it. You just want to lie. What the hell? I still need the name of that rabbit that Agatha has been carrying around. What is the name of the rabbit? Who is the rabbit? Why do you like the rabbit so much? You up here talking to the rabbit. Give me more about the rabbit. What the hell did fake Pietro do with Monica? She wasn't around for the entire episode. Where is she? Where is he? What's going on there? That's another question that needs to be answered. And are we going to get multiple seasons of this? That's another thing I'm not aware of. I haven't read up on the expectations for the universe and how it's going to tie together, and if we're going to get additional seasons or if these are just one-timers, I really hope it's not. There's so many stories that can be told with these characters. You could really go pretty much forever. That might be actually frightening to some actors who don't want to be stuck in certain roles for too long. But, I need more, I need more. We only got one episode left. This show has been amazing. I would very much like to get more. So that's going to be it for today, guys. What are your thoughts on the episode? Do you agree that it was a little lazy for them to go with the I forgot route, or were you okay with it? What do you think happened to Pietro and Monica? Let me know. Follow me on Twitter at JaLilWill or on Instagram at the same at JaLilWill. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and just let your boy know. We coming up. We doing some big things, y'all. We doing some big things, right? I had over 300 downloads in 1 week last week. That's the most I had so far. So we're growing. We're doing big things. I appreciate everybody who's been listening to the podcast, maybe telling a friend, and enjoying it. And I'm going to keep trying to get better. If you notice, I was a little more organized this time. Usually I'm a little more all over the place. I told you guys I was going to work to be better, and I am going to continue to try to do that. So, like I said, that's it for today's episode. I hope to entertain you again next week. And you know how we do.
Sun's getting real low.
We out.